Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe. I go by Pirate Joe, or you can just call me Joseph. And I am the quartermaster with the Massachusetts Pirate Party. And today, I just wanted to discuss with you other ways in which you can serve. Um, so, one of the biggest and most common ways to serve is actually working with local and state government. And in doing so, the most obvious way is just attending council meetings um, and school committee meetings and other meetings of your community that can help. Um, Volunteering for these communities as well. I know it's a little extra, but volunteering for your local town council meeting and working for local meetings for doing food production or other things like that, running community events, serving at community events. If you're working for a community event, like you're working for your theater or some other good cause, these are phenomenal ways to really not only um, make significant changes in your community, but also really networking, come together with these people and these organizations in order to in order to make a real difference. Even something as simple as organizing a triathlon or a run through your city or a bike ride through your city helps connect people in the city and make that place better. One of the fundamental things I was saying earlier in this conference was always leave a place better than how you found it. So if you even make a small change, pick up that little bit of trash as you're going, that will help you make that community better. Instead of having somebody throw something away, if you actually reverse that damage, make that community better, then you can, or even like help somebody, a little old lady crossing the street and things of that, and being a responsible citizen. These are all ways you can contribute to your society. And the obvious is running for senator. One of our members who had the position of quartermaster before me, Steve, he ended up leaving the position that way he could serve on the zoning. And it might not seem like a glorious thing to do, but it really is important work. Other ways in which you can also is by becoming like a big sister or a big brother, or more progressively a big sibling, and really help the next generation of people coming out. One of my biggest personal preferences is trying to make sure that we give hope to our kids coming forward. If you have a car, driving for others, having a neighbor support their children for school, and then also visit those in need of company, whether you're serving your local community by getting out there and helping nursing homes and going and doing activities and fun like that. Another big way in which you can really help your local community is by coming up and donating food, donating clothing, and donating other supplies in which help your local food banks and local communities, your local community, by providing different programs. In my hometown of Lowell, we have a phenomenal group called Lowell Makes, and one of the things that they did for the city was help modernize all of their parking system. So instead of having clunky quartering machines that aren't working anymore, we actually got the whole system automated, and they helped make it so that not only is it resource and green, it also not only is it keeping it green, but it also really managing and keeping everything up to date with our local community. So again, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different solutions that you can implement in order to make your place better. Another one, though this one is a little bit more on the dangerous realm, is if you have a particular trade set or skill, such as a carpenter, electrician, or if you're particularly good at managing people's private information and security, a good thing that you can do is actually extend those skills. So if you're a carpenter and you go and help build a home for the needy, that's a good thing. The only downside to that particular issue is there's something called burnout, which you can, if you're already pulling 40, 50 hours a week, going and doing another 20 hours from that week is going to burn you out from doing what you do in order to make your bread. But it would, no pun intended, it would be a good thing to do. And actually going right into it, building homes, you don't necessarily have to be a licensed or an architect in order to really go and build a home. There are plenty of operations like Habitat for Humanity that you can go and serve locally in your local home and help swing a hammer, use a screwdriver in order for that to happen. And one moment. So going back into what really brings me to this discussion is really just local politics, though, and the ways to serve. And so with local politics, you really need to know who your local legislators are and what they're doing and how they're doing it, and really understand the process if you really want to become more active in your political activism. And the best way to do that is to actually start by listening to them and going to these meetings and listening to them. And then when you're at the meetings, a lot of the meetings happen and decisions are made about your local community right then and there, and those laws are implemented. So being there as the laws are implemented gives you the opportunity to go ahead and make an impact right then and there by sharing your thoughts, sharing your experiences, and swaying those who are behind making the policies. Then, once you really understand the process, it's an easy step to go from somebody who's just actively attending meetings to actually becoming and running for office. Another solid way to do it is knowing how to get in touch with your legislators, with the people making the decisions. And I believe it was a talk we did once, which is annoy your legislators in order to effect change. And that's definitely a video I recommend to everyone who really wants to know how to really learn. And then, of course, identifying any issues that you care about and pursue it. And hopefully you don't need too many resources, but there are plenty of social issues out there in which you can really make an impact on, especially in your local communities. But even if it's not a local issue, even if it's a national issue, or a state issue or a national issue, it is very, very easy in order to reach out to your representative, to your senator, and make your voices heard. And of course, there are plenty of groups out there, like the Massachusetts Pirate Party, which are trying to make these changes happen for you today. Thank you.